Sometimes I just be losing my mind. Sometimes I just be lying to be lying. Sometimes I wish I could quit my 9 to 5 and make music from 9 to 9 and have a hell of a time.
Welcome back to another episode of Some Shit to Think About with your host, Anthony Beastie Barron. I believe this is episode number 5. I'm so excited to have you guys here. Excited to give you guys this good show. We're going to be talking about just why every relationship matters, the significance of relationships, and we're going to focus more so on the platonic relationships, not the romantic ones, but just the power of relationships in general, because we have relationships with just about everything in this world, and I think we kind of overlook the significance of that, so I think there's some shit to think about there. But before we get into it, I want to let you guys know that if you haven't already, you should definitely tap into Unlocking the God, or to Unlock the God Within You, book written by yours truly. You can find it, it's an ebook actually, you can find it on Amazon Kindle. The link will be definitely in the description. But it's a book just about realizing the power that you have and being your most authentic self, and kind of how to tap into that godly power that lies within every one of us, as well as being, tapped into the universe and the world around you, so you can provide your unique gifts with the world and be your best, most authentic self. I know for a fact it'll change people's lives. From the reviews that I have already got, people have said they enjoyed it. It's definitely either reminded them or showed them things that they need, just to kind of have in their day-to-day life. So tap into Unlocking the God Within You. It's out by now. It should be. Sorry for the delay. I've just been trying to make things as good as they can be for the consumption of anyone that wants to consume it, because I want to make things as valuable as possible. As well as that, make sure you tap into my blog if you're more of a literary person. I'll also have the link within the description. A lot of the stuff that I talk about on here is stuff that I've either written about or will be writing about. They usually kind of stay hand in hand. The name of my site on Wix is Some Shit to Think About as well, so I'm sure if you Google that, it'll pop up. But I'll have all the links to that in the description, so make sure you're keeping up with the blog, just if you want to stay a little bit ahead of the game. If you want to get some shit to think about before the podcast drops, you can find some shit to think about there. But man, let's get into it, man. I'm excited to talk about this, man, because relationships are mad powerful, and I think we kind of overlook it, you know what I mean? Because every relationship that you have is life-changing type of powerful, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not just talking about the romantic ones. I'm talking about the relationships that you have with everything and everyone, including yourself, Each relationship that you kind of have has the ability to create, an infinite amount of possibilities that'll impact your life, and it's just, dependent on the way that you go about interacting in these different relationships, you know what I mean? So in this episode, we're going to kind of talk about just some elements that are in each relationship or in every relationship. So we're going to talk about responsibility, influence, character, and reputation, just say a few, and I'll kind of, pour in my little personal anecdotes that kind of relate along to them. But I kind of want to highlight those key things because I think those are major topics or major points of relationships and why they're so powerful, because all those different categories have a lot of power, in our life. So the first one being responsibility. I like to look at that word as response ability, your ability to respond to any given stimuli, any given just reaction, any given person, place, or thing, and responsibility is major in any relationship, because I feel like you can kind of rate what type of relationship you have dependent on the responsibility that's involved within the relationship, So like the relationship you might have with the sales clerk at your local, convenience store is going to be a relatively easier or, smaller relationship, just because the level of responsibility isn't high. You're responsible for, paying for the groceries, and they're responsible for ringing it up, maybe a little chit chat here and there in between, but, the responsibility isn't major, You just got to kind of do what you're supposed to do, so to speak. But if you want to look at a, more deeper relationship, you look at something with like a relationship with your boss, you're going to be responsible for a lot more things because that's a relationship with someone you probably you want to be advancing in your job. You're gonna want to potentially get more raises. You're gonna want more out of the relationship, so you're gonna kind of put more into it, and you're gonna be responsible for more actions. You know what I mean? That kind of go into it. So I mean, responsibility is major, man, and I feel like when you're in these deeper relationships that require more responsibility, I feel like accountability kind of goes, hand in hand with it. You got to be able to be accountable for your actions, that you're responding to whatever person, place, or thing that you're having this relationship with. So if we're going with this boss example, you got to be accountable for the actions that might be required, for you to not only fulfill your job, but to, go above and beyond and have a good relationship with the individual. And so you guys can, potentially, earn some brownie points and get that raise, get that promotion, whatever it may be. But I think when you kind of dissect it, you got to realize that you're responsible for your actions in whatever relationship that you have with anything or anyone, including yourself. And I think we kind of overlook that because when you've developed a relationship with anything, you just, it's kind of just naturally happens. You're just kind of naturally involved with it. But I think when you kind of look at what you're responsible for, you can kind of get an overall view of how important of the relationship is, or what type of relationship it even is, because the deeper the relationship, the more responsibility that's going to be involved from it. So I feel like responsibility is major, man, and it can be a good thing. It can definitely be a good thing if you want to see the relationship grow. You know what I mean? Because the more responsibility that you take on throughout a relationship, the deeper the relationship will probably grow, the deeper that the relationship will probably be. The more contact you're gonna have to have with this person, place, or thing, or whatever it may be, the more you're gonna have to be constantly responding to that person, place, or thing. So like I said, responsibility is kind of a critical pillar just to analyze where the relationship's at, and just be wary of when your responsibility is increasing in a relationship, just meaning that you're getting deeper, that you're getting more tied in. So if it's a relationship that you might not want to get that deep, not every relationship has to be a deep, meaningful one. So that could be something that you kind of just keep your eye out for. When you start realizing this person might be requiring more time, more effort, more energy out of you. More responses out of you. You can kind of be like, all right, let me shift gears and kind of temper this down, because I don't want this relationship to get that deep. You know what I mean? So that's definitely kind of a key I feel like you should look out for. But it's also a key that you should just be, like I said, you should be wary of, just because I feel like we overlook our responsibility in any given relationship. And I think, another major pillar of any relationship is just the influence factor. Whatever you're going to be interacting with consistently is going to be, you're going to be influencing it, and it's going to be influencing you. So it's very critical to kind of realize what you're getting into, what type of relationships you're interacting in. Whether they're relationships with, like I said, people at your local store, or neighbors, or whoever it may be. Because the more that you are interacting with them, the more that they're going to influence you, whether you like it or not. That's kind of why parents, are usually kind of so big on who their kids are hanging out with and whatnot, just because whether someone could be bad for you, or someone whose values don't necessarily align with yours, but you think you can just hang out with them and and leave it at that. Well, you may think that subconsciously that person or thing is going to be influencing you more than you giving it credit for. The more that you're interacting with it, the more that you're responding with it, especially the more that your responsibility with that person to maintain that relationship increases, the heavier the influence will be on you. And likewise, you'll be influencing it just as much. But I feel like it's something you should be wary of, because a lot of times, not every relationship you find yourself in can, have the most positive influences on you. You know what I mean? That's why you should just be alert of the type of people or the type of things that you're getting involved with. The more that you are getting involved with, especially the more that things are, the more deeper it's getting and the more responsibility that's involved, because you can end up, having a lot of uncharacteristic influences on you. You know what I mean? Start acting a little bit differently than you might want to be acting and you just have no reason why, or you know, find yourself in situations you normally wouldn't be in, and it's because the things that you're interacting with are having a greater or having a greater influence on you than you're giving credit for. So I definitely be kind of aware of that, but you can also kind of use it to your advantage of depending on the type of relationships you have and using your influence on them. You know what I mean? A lot of times, I know for me personally, I was trying to be a good source of influence for any type of relationship, any type of person or thing I'm interacting with, just because I want them to kind of always get something from it, some type of value from it, just some type of, you know, positivity, whether, you know, it's something as simple as, you know, giving someone a compliment or kind of, you know, asking them a little bit about, you know, their personal life and kind of how, you know, things might have gotten about. But I try and just make sure that any type of relationship I have, the influence that I'm giving off is going to be something that is good, something that's positive, something that they can be like, okay, like, you know, like that was dope. Like, you know, shout out, like, I'm glad I, you know, ran by him, or I'm glad he comes in here, or, you know, just whatever it may be, because we, like I said, I think we kind of forget that. And I think it's some shit to think about in terms of just relationships, because it's, and we have too many of them not to be conscious of our involvement with them. And, I think, you know, something that kind of goes hand in hand with all this is just the relationships you develop allow you to see just a reflection of your character. You know, it allows you to see who you actually are, what you're actually doing, because when you start getting involved with people or getting involved with things, you start to see, you know, what you really care about, you know what I'm saying, and why you're really into it. You know, they say some of the best, you know, friendships or romantic relationships or just any relationships in general kind of happen, you know, just unforced, you know, just kind of naturally. So when you're kind of just naturally operating about, going about, you get to see what you're really made of, you know what I mean, how you would act when nobody's watching, nobody, you know what I'm saying, necessarily might know about it, you know. So I feel like once you get involved with people and you start to, you know, just see each other more, start responding to each other more, or, you know, start just getting involved more, you get to really see what you're doing, you know what I mean, how this person makes you feel, how this person or how this thing, you know what I mean, or whatever you're having a relationship with, because it doesn't have to be just people, but you know, how the stimuli may just, you know, treat you, how you may be treating it, you know. I feel like taking a step out of it just to kind of see, you know, like who you are to it, because, you know, every time you meet someone new or every time you go to like a new place and you just establish a new relationship, you know, you have a clean slate, you know what I mean, and you're the version of you that they're experiencing is completely new, you know what I mean. They have no prior recollection of who you are, what you stand for, what it is you're trying to get into. So it's like once you're kind of getting into it, and you know, you kind of, you know, you realize this is gonna be a relationship that you might have for a while, you can kind of see just what their character is as well as yours. And you know, the best way to kind of analyze that is just by the actions that are taking place by, you know what I'm saying, both parties, you know, like what they're actually doing. Because, you know, some people can get in relationships for like the wrong reasons, you know what I mean, or some people can get in relationships and really try and take advantage at the other person's expense, you know what I mean. And so you kind of really see what somebody's really about just through their actions, you know, through what they actually might say, what they might do, and just kind of be able to navigate from there, you know what I mean? Because sometimes, you know, you might be better off with interacting with someone that consistently has you acting out of character, you know what I mean? I feel like everyone has been involved with relationships that might, you know, they always get to seem, people might make them, you know, more angry than they usually are. They might make them, you know, sometimes more sillier, you know, some more relaxed than they usually are. But sometimes people can get out of character for the wrong reasons and never really know about it. And it's like, dude, you might have to take a step back and see, you know, what this person is, you know, the type of influence that they're having on you, and the level of responsibility that, you know, that they have for you, making you feel this way, you know what I'm saying, getting out of character and whatnot, because that's not what we want, you know what I mean. If anything, if someone's gonna be making you, or something's gonna be getting you out of character. You're gonna want it to be something that's more in a growth aspect. You know what I'm saying? Something that's gonna be challenge you a little bit more to get out of your comfort zone, but like in a positive way, to take steps that you would be interested in taking yourself, but you might need that extra push. You know what I mean? So I think those are things that, you know, you should kind of look for in a relationship in terms of, you know, character wise, things or people that are gonna help you improve your character. Things are people that are gonna help you, you know, develop your character more towards the type of person that you'd like to be, the type of person that you've always had imagined yourself to be, opposed to the type of person that you try not to be. You know what I mean? Opposed to the things about yourself that you try and work on, that you try not to necessarily, you know, let out all the time, because people have power, and like I said, relationships definitely have power as well. So you should definitely kind of be a little bit more wary of just the character of people involved with that. You know what I mean? Because they say, you know, character is how you act when nobody's looking, but a lot of times, you know, we get in relationships and people find themselves just acting out of character, just acting just all types of just different ways, you know, and you want to monitor that, especially if it's not anything conductive of what you stand for, who you are, and, you know, like what you believe in. So definitely just be aware of just like the character of anything or anyone that you're involved with in a relationship, as well as yourself, just consistently, just to make sure that any type of relationship that you're in is going to be a good one for you. And then the final like pillar, I feel like, is just reputation, man. Every relationship that you get into has a certain reputation, you know what I'm saying, attached to it, you know, because you never know what this relationship could lead you to, you know what I mean? So if you think about how many of the people, how many friends or acquaintances you might have now, like how many of those people came from people that you know what I'm saying, already knew, you know what I'm saying, like a friend of a friend or a mutual friend, you know, that kind of came through, you know, word of mouth, or, you know, your reputation for something, right? So like when you make a new relationship, you're opening up almost like infinitely new avenues of reach, not only yourself, but, you know what I'm saying, for obviously that other person as well. So how you carry yourself within each relationship is major, because you want that person to be able to speak honestly of you to other people, but you want those things that they're speaking about to be positive things, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like you should never be living just for, you know, someone else's approval, or just so, you know, someone else can, you know, say good things about you. No, like that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that your reputation sometimes speaks before you do ever can, you know what I mean? Or your reputation can get you in rooms that you alone never would have been able to. So taking pride in that and being just aware of what your reputation is and kind of what you're standing for, what you're putting out in each relationship that you're getting into, is crucial to just making each one sustainable and making each one kind of work for you. Because not every relationship has to be, you know, super deep, super involved, but you at least want whoever you're involved with or whatever you're involved with to be able to speak highly of you, you know what I mean, to be able to speak honestly of you, and, you know, say things that might trigger others' interest, that, you know, might be able to help you out and might be able to, you know, add some type of value to your life, and vice versa. Because, you know, just being reputable is huge, man. Just how you treat people, like I said, it kind of taps into, you know, just being just a reflection of your character. You know, like I feel like if you have a real high character, people will be able to see that, people will be able to feel that, and people will want to speak highly about that. Be like, oh yeah, I'm cool with this dude, you know, AB's a real good guy, you know what I mean? I seen him doing this, that, you know what I mean? Like, you want people to be able to brag about you for a little bit, just because you never know who they may know and who they may know, and, you know what I mean? The chain kind of keeps growing, you know, and you just never really know. That's why I don't believe in burning bridges, or I don't believe in kind of ending any relationship on like a bad note. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it happens, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can always just only control what you can control. But if you can, you know what I'm saying, show some grace to someone, or be a little bit more diplomatic if possible, you definitely should, just because you like I said, you literally never know how that person might be able to come back and help you out down the line, or just who that person may know, or just how that might affect them, and they might, go about, seeking, their praises, I'm saying, more about you, or just, how you were able to deal with a certain situation that they, were around you for, or, something kind of like that, because it's like, for me, I've been just more conscious of the types of relationships I develop, and just who I'm developing them with, and how I act when I'm involved. You know what I mean? Because being able to see people for who they truly are, and kind of watching their character in action, it allows me to take advantage of opportunities that, that could lead to growth. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing wrong with taking advantage of relationships, as long as you're not taking advantage of them at someone else's expense. I feel like, I always talk there's no coincidences. You don't meet people for no reason. You know what I'm saying? You don't just bump into whoever for no reason at all. So any type of relationships you have, I do believe is put there for you to take advantage of, for you to, develop it and foster it and let it be whatever it may be. But I think you should at least be able to be aware of, like I said, the person or the things you're involved's character, how your influence is, as well as how they're influencing you, and just, kind of like the reputation involved with it. Because I mean, you never know, man, and relationships are too crucial, especially the relationship you have with yourself. I could potentially even break this up into a whole, another segment about that. But the relationship that you have with yourself is probably the most crucial relationship, because if you can't show that yourself the decency and respect that you would want from other people, then there's no reason, there's no way that other people are going to show you that type of respect. So I feel like before you can even really go about, wanting to foster relationships with others and other people and other things, you got to make sure the relationship with yourself is tight. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that you're treating yourself like how you would want to be treated. Because a lot of people, especially just today's day and age, just people I come across, I meet, I even, know, like they don't treat themselves as well as they treat other people. And they get wonder why, they're always getting taken advantage of, or they always get screwed out of relationships, or, why they just can't make friends and stuff. And it's just like, dude, like nobody's gonna treat you better than you treat yourself. I mean, people may for a little bit, but after a while, that type of behavior is unattractive. You start to see it, like I said, in their character. You start to see how, like, what they really value, what they really, what they really are about, what they stand for. And when you see that someone wouldn't even be willing to stand for themselves, stand up for themselves, or kind of have their own morals and values, it's kind of gonna be like, well, shoot, like why am I even associating with them if they don't view themselves highly enough to, take a stand here, or, to kind of defend themselves, whatever it may be. So I feel like the relationship with ourselves is probably the most crucial relationship. And I feel like that kind of, you can get a lot about that and how to unlocking the God within you, from my ebook, because that's kind of what it's all about. A little shameless plug, tie back in, but it really, I feel like that's really crucial, because I feel like the relationship you have with yourself is going to be an embodiment of the relationships you have with other people. I feel like if you're truly loving and gracious and kind with yourself, you're going to be that same way with others. They say that the way that you view the world is the way that you view kind of what you got going on within yourself. And I feel like it's the same with relationships. The only way that you're going to be able to go out and meet great people, or develop, great relationships, and really, build like a network of individuals that are providing growth and value to you, as if you're already providing growth and value to yourself, and you're going out each day and night and exemplifying that, and working on, who you want to be, and making sure you're taking, you're putting your best foot forward day in and day out. So I feel like that relationship with yourself matters, like be able to take time for yourself, like be able to, do little things, like go take a walk, go read a book, man, go sit and meditate, go ground yourself, go do little things, if you're more of a physical person, go get a massage, right? Go to the steam room, go get your nails done, your hair done, like go do things that feel good for you. So when you look in the mirror, or when you lay down late at night, you know that, at a subconscious level, that you're taking care of yourself, that you love yourself, that, you're a very important player in your life, you know what I mean? Because no one is going to take care of you the way you would want to. And once again, like, that's just going to set the standard for any other relationship that you have. When people see someone that, keeps up with themselves very well, that obviously, has a high regard for themselves, they're going to approach them a little bit differently because they know that they won't be able to get away with, certain BS or whatnot. So definitely make sure the relationship that you have with yourself kind of sets the bar for any relationship that you're going to be getting involved with. And just be aware, like I said, be aware of the influence that someone has, be aware of the responsibility that you have with any relationship that you're getting into. Whether you want it to be, the more serious that you want it to be, the more responsibility that will be involved, and vice versa. Be aware of just the influence that you're having on the other person or thing, as well as the influence that they're having on you, and make sure it's the right type of influence that you want, that will get you to where you want to be in life. And be aware of the character of how, the relationship that you're getting involved with, how that person or thing makes you feel, as well as how they're acting, how they feel, how they are going about doing different things, and just making sure that their character is aligned, because that's another major thing. You don't want to be around someone whose character doesn't align with the type of character that you have or that you're aspiring to have. And last but not least, but just make sure that in any relationship, or just keep in mind, I should say, in any relationship, that your reputation is going to be on the line. So whoever you believe you are, whoever you believe you want to be, make sure you're exemplifying that, day in, day out, each, interaction, each response, because that your reputation is always going to be on the line. And while it's not, you shouldn't live for other people necessarily, you should definitely want to make sure that your reputation is in good marks, because it can get you into places that you would never even, you alone will never be able to get into. So I think that's some real good shit to think about. I don't really see, like I said, too many people talking about it. And I do definitely plan on talking about, like, real, like, romantic relationships as well, because that's if you're dating right now, you kind of know, man, that shit's all over the place, man. So we'll definitely kind of get into, some real relationship tips, things you should think about, just keys on, just making sure you're in good ones, red flags, just all that relationship talk, man. I try and stay away from it, but it's hard not to when I'm seeing all this BS on my phone each and every day. But I have to give a major shout out to GOS Company, man. They're doing great things. I'm watching it bloom in front of my eyes, man. If you know, you know. If you don't, you'll know soon enough. Gotta throw a major shout out to Alpha Company, man, for this sweet hoodie. I'll drop the link in the description as well. You can cop it. On the back, it has mental health matters. I don't know if you can see it, but it's shining. It's pretty tough, man. They got plenty of other dope stuff, man. Use code Beastie Baron for 10% off, and make sure you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everything, literally, at Beastie Baron, BeastyBarron, because I'm cranking out content, man. It's only getting better, and it's only gonna be just valuable stuff, whether you're getting a laugh from it, or you're, get something you can really think about and digest, man. It's gonna be something of positive value, something that you're gonna want to have around. And I can't forget, gotta throw a major shout out to the good people over at Goldwater, man, sponsoring this episode, man. I'm telling you, I can't speak highly enough on the Goldwater, man. It's the elixir for life, man. If you want to help knock off some of that crust to that pineal gland, increase your electrical conductivity within your mind, within your body, and be a little bit more sharp, be a little bit more focused, be a little bit more energized, and get your circadian rhythm in line, tap in with the Goldwater. I'll also leave that link in the description, man, because I'm telling you, that's some secret sauce right there. Not too many people know about it, but they will soon enough. But I appreciate you guys for tapping in. Please let me know if you found this valuable. Let me know about how your keys, things that you look for in relationships in the comments, man, and just I'm trying to interact more, man. I'm trying to see kind of how y'all are feeling. If this is some shit for y'all to think about, what y'all are thinking about when you listen to it, man. So please let me know. Reach out either in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or on any of the social medias. Like I said, at Beastie Baron, BeastyBarron. Let me know, man. Honest, I appreciate honesty. I value honesty. So be real with me, whether you love it, you hate it, or you just, indifferent, man. Let me know. But I hope this is some shit for y'all to think about. Hope you have a great day, and keep tapping in. Peace.
On your wrist, it don't matter at all. Yeah. And that watch on your wrist, it don't matter at all.